Welcome to this exclusive Grammar Masterclass Explainer. Today, we're unlocking a massive secret that highly proficient English speakers use to instantly sound more formal, authoritative, and professional. And honestly, the craziest part? They achieve this totally elevated tone simply by dropping one tiny two-letter word from their vocabulary, the word if. We're going to dive into exactly how they do this and how you can start doing it too. But hey, real quick before we jump into the magic, I want to invite you to take the absolute next step in your language journey. If you're genuinely serious about elevating your spoken and written English to a premium level, make sure you subscribe to the American English Academy. Their materials, which we're exclusively referencing in this explainer today, are truly top tier for mastering advanced English. All right, here is our game plan for today's explainer. 1. Welcome to formal English. 2. First conditionals using should. 3. Second conditionals using were. 4. Third conditionals using had. And finally, 5. Put your skills to test. Let's get right into it. Part 1. Welcome to formal English, the power of inversion. Okay, so we all know standard conditional sentences, right? If it rains, I'll stay home. That kind of thing. But in a high-level business email or, a formal academic speech, if just feels a little too casual. So how do we fix it? We use a structural shift called inversion. It's basically a stylistic choice used in formal speech or writing where we literally omit the word if completely and then flip or invert the subject and the auxiliary verb. It feels a bit like pulling off a magic trick the first time you do it, but man, it absolutely upgrades your sentence on the spot. Moving on to part 2, first conditionals using should. Let's look at transforming real first conditional statements. Sentences about things that actually have a real shot of happening in the future. Check out this comparison. Listen to my tone on the standard sentence. If Christina decides to attend graduate school, she'll study environmental law. It's perfectly fine, right? But now, listen to the inverted version. Notice how the tone just naturally levels up to sound incredibly polished? Should Christina decide to attend graduate school, she'll study environmental law. Wow. It sounds like a totally official announcement, doesn't it? So how exactly did we do that? It's literally a flawless two-step formula. Step 1, you just completely replace the word if with the word should. And then step 2, and listen up because this is where a lot of folks trip up, you have to change the main verb back to its base form. So the word decides drops the S and just becomes decide. Super clean, super simple. But hold on, what if you want to make this negative? Like, what if Christina doesn't decide to go? The absolutely crucial point here is knowing exactly where to drop that negative marker. For a negative first conditional, you just drop the word not right after the subject. So it becomes, should Christina not decide to attend graduate school, she'll spend a year working. It's highly structured, sure, but it is 100% logically consistent. All right, part 3, second conditionals using were. Now, let's dive into hypothetical or, highly unlikely situations in the present or future. This illustrates the contrast perfectly. If we have a sentence using the verb to be, like if he were my son, it just elegantly compresses right into were he my son, I would make him pay for the damage. But check out the second example. If she won first prize turns into were she to win first prize. That's a completely different transformation, right? Let's break these rules down clearly because they're a tiny bit more complex. First off, replace if with were. If your original verb was already were, just flip the subject and verb. Boom. If he were becomes were he. But, and place a big mental asterisk right here. For literally any other verb like won, played, or ate, you've got to use were at the beginning, then your subject, and then to plus the base form of the verb. So if she won transforms into were she to win. I'm telling you, this right here is the hallmark of truly advanced English. Now, don't worry about making these hypothetical statements negative. The rule stays entirely consistent with what we just learned earlier. The word not still goes right after the subject. So, were he not my son, I wouldn't have let him borrow my car. See? Once you spot these structural patterns, inversion is an absolute breeze. Which brings us to part 4. Third conditionals using had. Finally, we're looking at unreal past conditional statements. This is when we're reflecting on things that simply didn't happen. Imagine someone talking about a past failure. Normally they just say, if I had passed my driver's test, I would have bought a new car. But to create a highly sophisticated sentence structure, we just drop that if and invert. Had I passed my driver's test, I would have bought a new car. Come on, that instantly sounds like dialogue from a classic novel or maybe a high-stakes corporate review. Mechanically speaking, this is probably the most straightforward of the three. It's just a super simple two-step process to lock into your brain. Step 1, completely ditch the word if. Step 2, just invert the subject and the auxiliary verb had. So I had flips to become had I. She had becomes had she. Seriously, that is the whole shebang. And to wrap up our negative rule pattern, let's look at a negative third conditional. You guessed it, the exact same principle applies. Not just follows the subject. Had I not passed my driver's test, I wouldn't have bought a new car. Your subject is I, and not sits right there next to it. Easy, right?
All right, part 5. Put your skills to test with some quick checks.
Okay, we've talked theory, we've looked at structure, we've got the formulas down. Now it's time to actually use this stuff. Here is your very first challenge. If Adam finishes his report, he'll need some more work to do. I want you to rewrite this sentence as a formal inversion using the word should. Seriously, pause the explainer right now, grab a pen, write down your answer, and hint, hint, think really carefully about that main verb. Let's see how you did. The correct formal inversion is: should Adam finish his report, he'll need some more work to do. Did you catch the trap? We dropped the if, started with should, but the absolutely critical part was changing that verb finishes back to its base form finish. If you nailed that, honestly, fantastic work. All right, let's level up. Here's a slightly trickier negative hypothetical challenge for you. If it weren't a cloudy night, more stars would be visible. Your mission is to rewrite this as an inversion, starting with were. Go ahead, pause the explainer, write it down, and definitely remember the golden rule for where that word not is supposed to go. All right, moment of truth. The correct answer is, were it not a cloudy night, more stars would be visible. Give yourself a massive pat on the back if you correctly placed the not right after the subject it. Honestly, that is a highly complex structure that even native speakers stumble over all the time. Okay, we've got one final challenge to prove your total mastery of today's lesson. This is a complex, third conditional, negative statement. If I hadn't taken the medicine, I'd still be very sick. I want you to rewrite this by dropping the if and inverting with had. Take a second, pause, and write it out. And the final answer is, had I not taken the medicine, I'd still be very sick. Huge congratulations! You've just successfully mastered one of the most advanced, nuanced structural mechanics in the English language. You are totally ready to drop the if and command respect in literally any formal setting. So the only real question left is, where are you going to unleash these new inversion skills first? A massive boardroom meeting? A huge academic essay? To make sure you keep mastering sophisticated communication tools just like this one, I highly, highly recommend you subscribe to the American English Academy channel. They are the absolute premium source for taking your language to the highest possible tier. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this provocative thought for the day. What career opportunities might instantly open up for you if your spoken English sounded totally indistinguishable from a top-tier diplomat? Keep practicing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.